Hi, if you just joined us, we are looking at trig equations still in year 11 Maths Advanced. This is one of the so-called simple questions. And then my students go, how is this simple, sir? Well, it's like this. You know how the trick is to work out what sine x is, cos x is, tan x is in terms of k? That's the whole point. You need to get into sine x equals k, cos x equals k, tan x equals k. That's the trick. If you can get that into this here, you can take the sine inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse. This doesn't look anything like this. So what you got to do is, you got to do this. You got to move the cos x to the other side. Now, the thing about this is that when you divide sine by cos, you get tan. And cos divided by cos is 1. But you're going to divide by the number that's in front of the sine as well, just to be efficient. So whatever you divide on one side, you divide by the other side. On the left-hand side, root 3 is gone. Sine on cos is tan. And that ends up with 1 over root 3. How good is that? So then you get this in the form of tan x equals something by itself. That's the whole key. That's the whole key of all this. So then you take the tan inverse in this case. So tan inverse of 1 over root 3. This is a contrived question. This is actually pi on 6. It's 30 degrees, which I know in radians is pi on 6. And so where is that? Well, that's pi on 6 or station 2. So there should be another answer in the tan because that's where it's positive. So that will be pi on 6 as well. But that's really 7 pi on 6 because, just to recap, that's pi on 2. That's pi. And so you have pi plus pi on 6. That becomes 7 pi on 6. All the way from here to here. That becomes 7 pi on 6. So I did some working there for you. So that means then that the other answer is 7 pi on 6. So your answer in a nutshell is two answers. X equals pi on 6 and x equals 7 pi on 6. And that's for the simple question. Here's a more complex question involving factorizing. So what if you have 2 sine x, but it's sine squared, minus sine x cos x, minus 3 cos squared x equals 0. And take the case of the answer is going to be between 0 and pi, 2 pi. Okay, so this is where the crisscross is really, really good. So you look at the first one. The only way you break up is 2 sine and sine. You break up the last one, which is 3 cos and cos. But if I put it here, 3 times 2 would make it 6. 6 and 1 will never make them 1. So the 3 should be here. 3 cos times cos. That's where you need to factorize. So that means then that you want this to be minus. So this is going to be minus. So that means this whole thing factorizes out to be 2 sine x minus 3 cos x times by sine x plus cos x equals 0. Which means that if you have that times that equals 0, so the theory is if you have AB equals 0, either A equals 0 or B equals 0, which is another theory in algebra that you learned earlier in the year. If not, you learn it now. That means that 2 sine x minus 3 cos x equals 0 is one set of solution. And that means that 2 sine x equals 3 cos x when you move to the other side. Then dividing both sides by cos x with a 2 in front, 2 cos x as well. You get tan x equals then 3 on 2, which you can easily use a calculator for. So let's do that now. So x equals tan inverse of 3 on 2. Don't forget to use your calculator. This is the exact answer, so that's okay. But now this one here, you can use the calculator. But don't forget to put your calculator into radians mode. So that's shift mode, and the mode here is 4 for radians, right? and then you go tan inverse of 3 divided by 2, and whatever that answer is, write the whole lot down. So that's going to be 0.9827937232, and that means that there is an answer there. There will also be another answer there, but that answer, so this is 0.983 roughly. This is also 0.983. So that means the other answer is that plus pi, where the answer is. This is in the OR station quadrant, and it is in the tan quadrant. So there's two answers for this part, namely x equals 0.983 3dp, and the other answer is pi plus, let me call that alpha, pi plus alpha. And that's roughly using the calculator. I'll do that for you. So you go plus pi, and that would be 4.124 to 3dp as well. Yeah. All right. The other answer is from here. That is the sine x plus cos x equals 0, which implies that sine x equals minus cos x. And once again, if you divide both sides by cos, you get a nice one, tan x equals minus 1. Now, this is a nice answer, the exact answer. So x then equals minus pi on 4. Don't be afraid of the minus, because minus just means that you're going clockwise, remember? So that's pi on 4. And the other quadrant where the answer will be minus is in the second one, where it's also pi on 4 over here. So that means that the answer is 3 pi on 4. And all the way down to here, which is 7 pi on 4. Then you're going to put everything together. You're so happy you can't stop, because then the answer is going to be x equals 0.983 to 3dp, and then 4.124 also to 3dp, and then 3 pi on 4, the exact one, 7 pi on 4. The exact one you keep as exact. If they want that in 3dp as well, then you use your calculator, work that one out. Otherwise, that will be the answer to example number 4, which is a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to stop right there as well.